Special board meeting, Tuesday, August 15th. It's roll call.
Trustee Boyd?
Here.
Trustee Wilson? Here. Trustee Brooks? Trustee McLaughlin?
Present.
Trustee Payton?
Here.
Trustee Oscar Brown? Mayor Covington?
Present. Okay. Okay, I know it's not on here, but we still give honor to our pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Okay. Griffin?
Good evening, I'll be brief.
Good evening.
I hope that you, the board, will not install Chief Payton as the interim village manager. We had a special meeting or an executive meeting. Trustee Payton was there. Oscar Brown is not here tonight, right now, but he was there. Myself, Trustees Boudez and Oscar Brown. So was the village president and Ms. Wilson. Now, he gave a statement. He gave a statement about U.S. investigation, and they can attest to that he was informed to do wrong. And my concern is that he's the chief law enforcement officer of this village, and he did wrong by the edging of the mayor and previous manager Ebola. I call her Ebola because she disrespected the village. There was a disease on this village, Ebola, as far as I'm concerned. I thought it was egregious what she did. She okayed it. And what's more egregious, you have an attorney, Mr. Welsh, okayed it also. And he said that. So if it's a lie, he said it. Mr. Payton can also attest to that. So my thing is that if you putting him into a leadership role, which he really shouldn't even be police chief, you're gonna let the mayor and the previous village manager tell you to do wrong and you do wrong. Now you're gonna make him the leader or over all departments. I think it's wrong, it's egregious, and it shouldn't be done. Now, if I'm wrong, when you go into your executive session, you're gonna have Trustee Payton. He shouldn't be board. That's what I feel. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Brenda Mitchell?
To the board, respectfully, I submit my comments to Police Chief Payne. I really, and I don't want to tear anybody apart, and I don't want to.
Bring the mic down.
But as a longtime resident of this village, and as a former elected official in this village, more importantly, as a resident and a constituent of this board here, I call upon us, each and every one of us, including the residents, to be a little bit more concerned about the residents of this village. We're making decisions that are not necessarily in the best interest of this village. I have sat on several boards that people, including people up on the board right now, have asked for a nationwide search for a village manager. And every effort in the recent years that I've seen a village manager be appointed, we have not followed our own process. The process that we have put in place, even for the industrial park, that allows for posting of positions within this village, and the appointments to go through due process. This has not happened. And I'm trying to just catch my breath on all of this because I am passionate about what I'm saying. And I don't say this as a reflection on you, Chief Payne. I say this as a reflection on us and anybody that allows us to move forward in this vein, and the fact that we have fiduciary responsibility, we have fiscal things that are, this is an operations position for this village. That position manages the day-to-day operations of the village. And I don't think that at this point in time that we should be looking at anybody that is not equipped to handle the issues that are out here on this village side of it. We have teetotaled on bankruptcy, we have image issues because of things that have gone forth to the press, and now we're saying that we want the police chief to run the village. And for me, that's not good enough. I think that we need to follow due process, our own processes that's on our policies, and to move forward with posting the position. Years and years and years, I heard us say that we needed to do a nationwide search for a village manager. And Mayor, that came from you under a prior administration, of which some I sat on. And at that point in time, I agreed with it then, I agree with it now. And I think that we need to pay attention to some of the things that we're doing, because we are at a loss in this village for some of the decisions that are made. We've got lawsuits out there at the village manager level from people that have been placed in positions that did not follow due process. We are paying money on position that we just left out of. And, you know, come on, you're asking a lot from the residents. And our property taxes have just gone up again. Our resources here in the village have gone down. And the most critical position to the village, we're saying that we want to move it in this direction. I don't think that's the direction that we should be moving it in. But it's up to you all to make the decision. But I'm asking this board, and I challenge this board, to really think about what you're asking of the residents. And it's no reflection on you, Chief Payne. I'm talking about my property taxes that I pay, the number of rentals that are out here, the things that need to be changed in this village, and we need someone to head it and to lead it, that will lead it in the proper direction and bring back a sense of sensibility to this village.
Thank you. And for the record, to both of you, we are doing a national search. This is just an assignment like they have done in the past. For other people, they've been assigning the IT director as a temporary, that's all it says. We are doing this national search. A job description has been written, and that's it, and that's what we're going to do. Diane?
I'm sorry, I'm not sure. Let me respond back, Mayor, because it's an open session, any public comment. I'm coming back to it. You answered, let me respond back.
Well,
I'm okay with the national search. Other people that took that position had 20, 25 years longevity in their positions and had done legislative and community development, economic development in this village. And they were appointed to those positions in interim, and a full board moved them into a permanent position. There are times that, you know, even with that appointment, I disagreed and said that that was not the way to go, even in an interim position. When we are as critical as we are now, as a village, I think that there needs to be more attention paid to the decisions that are being made right now in this village for the residents and the constituency that are here for you.
Ms. Bishop,
you can make a speech.
Yes,
You're not going to go back and forth.
oh, no, yes, of course not, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Mitchell, it is, I will say, it's totally 100% my intention for any appointment of any of our directors for it to be a temporary, extremely temporary position, and that we do post the job. Chief will be here. I'm thinking more as a point of contact until we bring in a regular village manager. So this will be temporary, and I need to stress that.
It's just a point of contact.
And it doesn't matter which of the directors. I think we are not going to go to executive session and discuss this a little further. However, any director that we appoint will be temporary. As far as resources and revenue, we will be looking into that. We had something on the agenda, I believe it was last Tuesday, in regards to real estate transfer taxes. It's a creative way to bring in some revenues that doesn't directly affect the taxpayers. There are a couple of big closings going on in the industrial center, and raising our real estate transfer tax would help raise significant amounts of revenue. All you have to do is look back in the industrial park, and you can see that if we were to raise our transfer tax to $4 per thousand, and you're doing $500,000, you can see that could add up really quick and help take care of some of our financial issues. And we'll get more creative in regards to revenue, and hopefully that will be our, whoever we appoint, but in particular, in this case, the chief's first directive is to take all departments, what can we do that doesn't affect taxpayers directly to raise revenue?
Ms. Diane Hume?
Good evening, Mayor, Board, residents, everyone.
Good evening.
As you all know, there is a town hall meeting this Saturday. And based on some of the comments, the discussion that goes on next door, and also some of the concerns that are brought here at the meeting, like the one Ms. Mitchell just brought up, I would just like to know from each of you, each board member, and also department heads, if you will be here Saturday to answer questions from the residents, hear their concerns, and just be prepared to let them know what you're doing to move this village forward.
Naturally, I'll be there.
Ms. Humes, unfortunately, I have a game versus Moments. But I will talk to the president and see. Normally what I do is I announce up until my game, and then I have a game, and usually my day, it starts at 9 a.m. and don't finish until 6. And as you can see, I rushed here because practice is from 5:30 to 6, but I would try to do my best to attend the same way as last week with the public safety. The public safety, I attended before I had the jamboree down in Bradley, but if I can make it, I definitely will attend.
Madam Mayor, could I be on?
Yes, sir.
Yes, I do plan on attending. I can go ahead and tell you a couple of things that got assigned to me now. One of the first things that was assigned to me was working on ordinances in regards to parking.
Yes.
I know it seems kind of minor, but there is a traffic congestion problem on Burnham. So that's one of the things I'll be working on. I haven't started yet, but I will probably this week, something like that. And one that was mentioned in regards to renters, I think is an issue that I might start looking into in regards to a crime-free housing ordinance. Something along those lines, but I need to put some thought into that and give it a little bit of thought.
Mrs. Humes, I'll be there Saturday morning, and there were some things that were talked about at our last retreat, and I'm going to be looking into something that's real quick. It's topical in the sense, the amount of time we spend in open session. I mean, so, yeah, that's just one of the things that I'm going to work on, but I have other things that I have planned as well.
And I also have things that I have planned, but
I'm going to try my best to be there, okay? I heard Mr. Brown, Trustee Brown.
Yes.
I think he's working with me on Burnham. I was the one that brought that up, if I'm not mistaken. Am I mistaken, Mayor?
No, you're not.
Okay. But that was one of my things that I was making sure that I'm trying to get done. And that's what I want to say. Yes, I'll try my best to be there.
Okay.
I'll be in attendance to prepare for any questions.
Hey, it's always a pleasure working with Trustee.
thank you.
Okay.
Trustee,
Okay. You're.
thank you all.
Thank you.
I'm always there with you, the property.
All right. With that said, we will go on this action items on the agenda. Did you want to say this?
Yes.
Yes. Sorry.
This is a question to, Brown.
Oh, your name?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Bernie.
You stated that the 1% to the 4% you were gonna do, but didn't you say in the last meeting that you wasn't approving, you wasn't with that the last meeting?
In regards to what I just got to mention is really estate transfer tax, I'm very much in support of any creative ways to increase our revenue streams. We have to get creative in regards to bringing in additional revenues to the Village University Park and try to not affect taxpayers as much as possible. I see it as a boom. There are at least 3 closings coming up in the industrial area. If we were to raise the price on the real estate transfer tax on a $500,000, sale of, say, a warehouse building, you're going to triple your money. That's $500,000, $600,000 price tax. So as far as that goes, hopefully, I said I would speak up on this, so hopefully this will make the next agenda for a 3rd reading and we'll approve it, and we'll start to diversify our revenues. I'm not too sure about a 1% to 4%. The only thing I went from $1 to $4 on the real estate transfer tax. So
that example would be $500 to $2,000, but those are for 3 transactions, whereas it applies, since most of the transactions are residential transactions, the individual homeowners will be paying the tax.
And I will say this is
Which in my opinion is a slap in the face.
And I will also say that closing costs, including real estate transfer taxes, are negotiable between the buyer and the seller. Now, typically, the seller does pay the closing costs, but it's a private transaction between 2 people. And there's nothing saying we split the difference on the real estate transfer tax if a resident who wants to, unfortunately, leave the village and sell their home goes. So there's a lot of ways around. I think it has the most minimum impact and there's a huge potential for a big capture in regards to industrial park property transfer.
But nobody's provided us that number.
Right.
How much is it?
Also, I want to bring up too, you mentioned about the taxpayers' money as far as the village manager, and you keep repeating that temporarily. It wasn't the last village manager temporarily, and you paid out a lot of money to her, and that for her services, which was worth more, but she was temporarily, as you all stated, when you voted her in. So when you think hiring someone permanently,
Right.
so that's taxpayers.
Just to explain this again, in my opinion, if you're going to bring in a village manager, it should have been permanent. You don't fire somebody who was here temporarily or quote hired because we still decide on what it is we exactly did on there. I think that process that we went through before was poorly planned out, and we're going to have a better plan this time. Any appointment of a director in regards to the village manager position is temporary. It is something that can be done via our ordinances and by state statute. In a time when there is no village manager, you can appoint a director, which is what we're doing today. Now,
Well, don't you believe that's a waste of time? Temporary. And
And
we should have just
I
went
would-
ahead and
we should
kept
have-
the one we just had. She was, I think she was qualified, so why keep paying someone temporary?
Well,
and not just vote
I
for
have
someone?
no control over a person's.
But did you vote for her as temporary?
First off, no, I didn't.
You was a lady.
Yeah, at first I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't approve the process that was used. I will go ahead and state that. I stated then, I stated all through the entire process. We're going to do it different this time. We're going to improve. And I want to stress that any appointment that is made today, one of our directors is, in my opinion, should be temporary. We need to do what we have just said. Start a national search, see what's out there, set a price that we are comfortable with in regards to what we can pay a village manager. We should follow all the correct steps, just like if you went on a job interview. You go into a job knowing approximately how much it's going to pay. You don't take the job and then say, well, how much are you going to pay me? Nobody does that. Now,
So
I'm
you
not
see
sure.
now, we
I'm not
started
sure.
over fresh.
Yeah,
We started differently from the past few managers and not just jumping in.
Right, and I would say that's exactly correct.
Okay.
And we're gonna do that. And I'm sorry it went the way it did this last time, but we're gonna improve on the process.
So everybody gonna work together, as you say.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. All right, we're gonna stop. We're excuse me, we're finished with the open, I'm sorry.
Question, President, did we go through the Illinois Municipal League?
We're going to all those avenues. We are going through, excuse me, Brenda, out of due respect, we are going through the process. We're going through South Suburban Mayor Managers. We're going to South Suburban Mayor Managers, IML, the newspaper. We're going all those avenues. It's already set up Job description has already been written. It will do due process, and that's how we're going to do it, respectfully and together as a board. We will go through all those avenues. We'll let you know. It'll be posted in the village. It'll be posted in the newspaper. I've already talked to Clerk G. Jones, and it's going through IML. It's going through the newspaper. It's going through South Suburban Mayor Managers. And we're also using another agency that we used a long time ago. So, yeah, those guys, the National Association for Black Business Administrators.
Oh, okay, then.
Yes, they will be helping us as well. So thank you very much. Now, going in, and then, like I said, we're just gonna do it temporary, so someone will be in charge of the department head, somebody can clock in and out. That's it, that's all. Thank you. All right. Okay, action items, new business. Resolution of the Village of University Park, Wilkes County, Illinois, designating John E. Pate as interim village manager. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by trustee Pate.
Second.
Second by trustee. Just second.
Can we go to?
Can we just 1 second? You just seconded. I need a second. Okay. Second by trustee Oscar Brown. Questions, Constance?
Madam Mayor, I did want to make a comment, but I don't think I should make it
Right now? Okay. All right.
I think we should.
Well, wait, but I don't want to go into that because we cannot go into executive session.
Of course,
Okay.
I do understand that.
All
We
right.
could have a quick executive session, let's discuss this a little bit and then come out and vote, would be my suggestion.
Everybody's got time limit on them. I thought there was a consensus at the last executive session, and that's why we came back and having this meeting.
I will say
Okay.
the hour was late at that.
Yeah, I understand that too. Okay. Is there a motion to go into executive session?
So moved.
I mean, these are in motion to go into executive session. Any questions, concerns, comments? Yes. I want a roll call on going in, voting on executive session. Is there a second? Is there a second on executive session? Sorry, I was gonna fail. Okay, resolution again. Of the Village University Park, Wilkes County, Illinois, designating John E. Pate as interim village manager. Is there a motion? Roll call.
Trustee Williams?
There was a motion already in a second.
Motion, he second.
Yes, he did. It wasn't. Anybody else have any more? Hearing none. Roll call. To vote, Chief Pate as interim village manager.
Okay. Trustee Williams?
Okay, I think we need police officers on the street.
Can we hear
So with that.
We can't hear her. We can't hear her.
Speak it to the mic.
She said no.
Trustee Wilson? Aye. Trustee Brooks?
Vote aye.
Trustee McClellan?
Vote aye.
Trustee Payne?
Aye.
Trustee Oscar Brown?
Abstain.
Mayor Covington?
Aye. Thank you.
Mayor Covington, the resolution number is R 2017-12.
Thank you very much. At this point, we're a motion to go into executive session and attorney.
Is there a motion to go into executive session to discuss pending litigation?
So moved.
Moved by trustee Payton, second. Second by trustee Brooks. Roll call. And only 50 minutes left.
Trustee Wilson? Aye. Trustee Brooks?
Vote aye.
Trustee McClellan?
Aye.
Trustee Payne?
Aye.
Trustee Oscar Brown?
Aye.
Mayor Covington?
Aye. Okay, thank you. It's going to be, it should take us about 15 minutes for this, and if you'd like to wait and then you come back in. Because I know we have another meeting behind this, ladies. I appreciate it. So we'll be right back.